With a pivotal win in Game 1 for the New York Knicks versus Boston Celtics, it seems as if Tom Thibodeau had a bunch of adjustments and tricks up his sleeves just waiting for Boston. Almost like he goaded them in the regular season with all them losses. Let's talk about it. Hit that rock. Before we get started, make sure to hit the like, subscribe to the channel using a dark notification bell to get each and every notification for each and every video I put out there. It's your boy Gmo Legion and Knicks. Let's get it. So, Monday, New York Knicks in a pivotal Game 1 versus the Boston Celtics, a team the Knicks lost all throughout the regular season. No wins against the Boston Celtics. Pulled out the improbable, almost seemed like 108 to 105 overtime win over the Boston Celtics. My son, my done life, Jalen Brunson pulled out the 29-point performance, as well as OG and a newbie going 10 for 20 from the field, 6 for 11 from 3 for 29 points. Some pivotal play from guys like Mikal Bridges, who didn't shoot great, but did end up hitting a clutch shot near the end of the game, as well as making the defensive play of the game. You also had contributions from guys like Josh Hart, solid game, 14 points, 5 for 9 from the field, 1 for 5 from 3. Even though I would say that 3-point shot he hit, even though we still were teetering around 20-point deficit, I would say that 3-point shot kind of set the tone. We needed somebody to kind of break through on offense and get us a bucket. And Josh Hart definitely came through with that with that lone 3, 11 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, had some pivotal offensive rebounds. Hardy Towns, that guy, man, we got to talk about it. Like, if it's whatever reason, crazy thing. We started out creating some impact on the inside, right? The Celtics were, going for the typical 3-point shooting, while the Knicks actually went old school and tried to go on the inside. And honestly, to tell you the truth, Carney Towns was eating a little bit in that first quarter, 2 for 3 from the field. He got his first possession, he got a foul, or was able to draw a foul. And then he was able to score next possession, 4 for 5 in the first half overall. And this without any threes, but unfortunately, he got into foul trouble. Then after that, tried to come back in the second half, try to drive attack, wasn't getting calls, just was not in the game. You had a play where literally it's supposed to be a double screen for Brunson on the ball. Mikal Bridges screaming at Cat to come and get it. Cat come and set the screen. Cat doesn't go and set the screen, just did his own thing. So Mikal set the screen. Brunson kicks it out to Cat coming from the corner to the wing. Then proceeds to shoot an air ball 3-point shot. So at this point, look, man, Karl-Anthony Towns, he could be a major factor in this series. Again, that inside presence with KP being hurt. You saw KP being out after the first half. Only played, I think, 13 minutes in Game 1. With KP being hurt and them being relatively small, weak on the inside, outside of, guys like freaking Luke Cornett. And Luke Cornett, if he scores another freaking point, didn't do any of this crap on the Knicks. Absolute bum on the Knicks. Now he wants to freaking act like he's freaking Bill Walton, rest in peace. Anyway, Cat didn't want to play the game, and so he was just out of it. Try to bring in Mitch for defense, but they played hack of Mitch. Mitch went 3 for 10 from the stripe. Absolutely almost killed us from the stripe killed us with his inability to hit free throw shots. He had to bring back in. He brought back in Precious. Precious was ineffective. Then you try to bring back in Cat. We were all over the place with our backcourt, but largely because Cat got into foul trouble and just mentally, he's not there. But of course, down by 20, Knicks come back. Salute to the Knicks, the non-Brunson minutes Knicks to help us maintain not too bad of a deficit until Brunson came back, and then Brunson obviously, Brunson's he's just a different animal. You gotta have a conversation of him being the top 5 point guard in the league. He went 3 for 5 in that fourth quarter, 11 points, 3 for 3. Going to talk about it. There's several things I want to talk about with Brunson, but Tom Thibodeau, when we talk about adjustments, we have to start putting some credit on Tom Thibodeau's name. It almost seems as if some of the things he did against the Boston Celtics in Game 1, he was not telling, like, he purposely told the Knicks not to do. It almost feels like it. There's a story back in the day. Greg Maddux talks about this all the time. Suits Greg Maddux, where he talked about pitching to Jeff Bagwell of the Astros. I'm a baseball fan, so Jeff Bagwell, Craig Biggio, a little bit later, Richard Hidalgo, all those guys. But I think Roy Oswald was on the team as well too. But that was no, I think Roy Oswald was a little bit later. But anyway, Greg Maddux sits there and he talks about how in the regular season he purposely pitched an inside strike to Jeff Bagwell, let him get the home run, and the catcher was like, "Why'd you throw that pitch?" He's like, "Don't worry about it. Just let him meet some in the playoffs." He's with the Braves, Greg Maddux. Cat in the same similar sequence pitcher wise, catch him on the outside. Jeff Bagwell just kept looking for that inside strike, inside strike, inside strike. Never came. Greg Maddux to me, I hated the Braves. I hate the Braves with a passion. But Greg Maddux, one of the greatest thinkers, one of the greatest pitchers of all time. Would not throw you 95 miles per hour, but will find a way to paint the corners and get you the F out with his breaking stuff. Anyway, I make that point to say that's what you saw from Tom Thibodeau in game one. A lot of what the Knicks did yesterday, you did not see during the regular season against the Boston Celtics. You didn't see a lot of adjustments that came about in game one. You didn't see that against the Celtics. I sat there and cried about, yo, you got to stop the KP pick and pop. You got to play up on the screens. You can't let Tatum that little bit of space to hit those shots. He's going to kill you if you don't play up on the screens. And then you got read and react by Brunson, catching your man Horford. Not so many, but several times in that fourth quarter, that pivotal fourth quarter to get us back the lead in the game, and then obviously we into overtime. Just so many things from Tom Thibodeau that's so just adjustment wise that I just sat there and I was in amazement. So look, there are three things I want to talk about. I want to talk about the Brunson read and react in that fourth quarter. I want to talk about the KP pick and pop, or the neutralization of the pick and pop, which has killed us for, I'll say, the 2 years. Go back to game one 2 seasons ago, where KP literally destroyed us from the outside with that bum ass pick and pop, killing Mitch, killing Julius Randle. And then I want to talk about how the New York Knicks played Jason Tatum off the screens, which I thought, again, it's going from a theme that's we kind of been pushing along since the Detroit Pistons series, right? You know, hedging and doubling and whatnot. But Tom Thibodeau's persistence, or not persistence, let me say insistence. I don't know what the right word would be, because persistence might be the right word, but you guys have to keep saying it, but insistence, whatever it is, for us to play up on those screens and to switch as night and day from what we did in the regular season. And I think that's what threw a monkey wrench in the Boston Celtics plan, a team that literally missed 45 threes, that 19 out of 20 shots, I believe, in that third quarter were three-point shots. 19 out of the 20 shots they took were three-point shots. That's ridiculous, that third quarter. But again, throwing a monkey wrench in the Celtics game plan. And now you're hearing them starting to say they're going to make they need to attack the basket more, not take so many threes. So we're going to see a different game too, I think, from both sides. But let's break down the film and get to why Tom Thibodeau looks so brilliant despite a 20-point deficit in this game. So let's start off with Jalen Brunson and his overall game. I wouldn't even call it adjustment, just an approach, I guess. But I guess an adjustment through the first, three quarters, mostly 3/4 of the game. But him doing the read and react and purposely trying to get Horford out in space to attack him. Now, his primary defender is Jrue Holiday, who typically, last year, he did a good job on him. This year in the regular season, Jrue Holiday in 3 games actually doesn't have the greatest of defensive numbers against Jalen Brunson. Against Jalen Brunson, he has a lot, 46.2% from the field, 6 for 13 overall from Jalen Brunson on the floor. All this in around 10 minutes, 50 seconds. He did, Brunson's only going 1 for 4 against Jrue Holiday. I believe he did miss a game. I believe it was the last game he missed against Jalen Brunson, if I remember. Not as if the Celtics really even needed him, because they mollywopped his whole regular season. Now, interestingly enough, in game one, Jalen Brunson did struggle against Jrue Holiday. Shot around 2 for 8 from the field overall, 1 from 3 from outside, and it seems as if that hamstring was all but fine against Jalen Brunson. But the thing I like, and it started in the third quarter, of possession where he started to drag out Al Horford and started to call for that switch. Now, the thing with the Boston Celtics, they're very proud in terms of their defense. You see Mazzulla, he would basically just switch and just have his defenders just playing the island. Like they typically play small side of KP. They're a relatively small, agile team. But the smart thing was to, hey, get the oldest player on that squad and let me abuse him on the outside. Now, granted, Jalen Brunson still against Al Horford. Yes, they went 3 for 8 from the field, 37.5% from the field, but he shot 2 for 4 from three. And again, Jalen Brunson hit some big threes in that fourth quarter, bring us back. So I just want to show the clip here. We see Jalen Brunson. Now, initially, this was Jalen Brunson. He switched on to Al Horford. Just look at Al Horford. He's looking crying for help almost. Look behind him. There's no one there. Now, Jalen Brunson, it's going to be tough for Jalen Brunson to try to finish through this. You got Tatum. You got Jalen Brown who can help and tag. You got Drew Holiday's going to step up with Derek White. They're going to challenge you to kick out that pass out to Josh Hart to make that shot, or at least when you drive to make that shot. Say if he gets around here, then Brunson then makes that pass to Josh Hart. They'll dare Josh Hart to shoot that shot. Again, 7 seconds on the shot clock. Can he get out to Mikal Bridges in time? Probably not. But again, just having Jalen Brunson be able to exploit Al Horford's old cranky Dominican legs from Santo Demacri or Bani Santiago. He's just not going to be. It's just not going to work out for a guy like Al Horford, who, again, if you think about it, for his age, advanced age for NBA play, look at him just looking for help. You saw that arm wave? Almost like he was calling for help. He was like, wait, what? Is anybody going to come and help? He's like, yo, where are going to help me? Jalen Brown's way too stuck. He's like, damn, dog, you just got to do it because I got Mikal Bridges on me. Got to try to just hold him for this next 7 seconds. Can't. Jalen Brunson even contested. Light work. Lovelies. So here's a second one with JB. Now you see the direct switch here with Drew Holiday and Al Horford. Now it's Cat. Now setting the screen. JB dribbles away from it and gets away. So expect him to go to his left. He gets away from it. Now he has Al Horford by himself. 7 seconds left. Step back. Look at the space JB just created with that nasty jab dribble. Look at the space JB created off that jab dribble. That is just disgusting. Al Horford, who, look, laterally for a big man his age is decent against guys his size, but Brunson at this point is just too small, too agile, too quick for Al Horford. Look at the space your man afforded JB. Way too much for JB to hit that shot. Again, hitting the three, getting the Knicks to lead late. Just what the doctor ordered, getting that read and react with Jalen Brunson, who I think is one of the best read and react guards in the league. When he decides not to play hero ball. We saw it last year in the playoffs against the Pacers. They were sending the doubles at JB. I believe it was game 5, I want to say, where you saw JB really exploit the Indiana Pacers over aggressive doubles, was able to draw out the defense way almost near the half-court line, get it to guys like Miles McBride, get it out to Josh Hart. So again, read and react for Jalen Brunson when he's in his proper element, which you want him scoring in the fourth quarter. I don't mind this. Doing this to the first 3 quarters, and if you're not hot and you're just jacking them shots is not the way to go. But reading react in this fourth quarter, dragging out Al Horford and getting away from Drew Holiday, absolute brilliant play from Jalen Brunson, who again to me is a top, I would say at this point, I'll give it F what no one says, top 3 point guards in the league. Suck your mother. Now the success of the KP pick and pop against the New York Knicks is no secret. The Celtics ran this, 2 seasons ago to start out the beginning of the season, game 1 against the Knicks in the regular season. The Boston Celtics literally bludgeoned us to death with a Tatum pick and pop with KP. Mitch Robinson couldn't defend it, Randall couldn't defend it, and Tom Thibodeau, Mazzulla known that Tom Thibodeau did not like to switch plays, let me say. We had a team that we didn't really have personnel per se to really have a so-called switchable defense. Guys really wouldn't commit. And some of the communications were bad. I got better as the season went along, but just overall, for whatever reason, we were dead in the water in terms of that KP pick and pop. And so when you saw what Tom Thibodeau did in game 1 against Tatum and KP, who literally tried to run that in the beginning of the game, try to set the tone, space out the floor, basically have the Knicks just in utter disarray in the inability to guard both Tatum off the dribble and then KP on the outside, right? It's like pick your poison, right? And that's what Mazzulla did. But Tom Thibodeau said, how about you not even be able to do that at all? We just guard you straight up. Use KP as a regular big man on a roll. Now, just to give some context, KP in the regular season has excelled mightily in the pick and pop offense this past regular season. KP shot around 50.4% as the roll man to the basket, 63.3% effective field goal percentage, which takes into account 3-point shooting. Now, granted, that field goal percentage on the pick and roll man obviously also takes into account him actually rolling to the basket. But let's just be honest. A lot of these shots are coming from 3 points. This guy averaged 1.27 points per possession off the rolls and ranked in the 80.8 percentile, 81st percentile, which is ridiculous. Now, again, this is a guy who's going to typically play a pick and pop and shoot those threes. So just take probably the majority of those shots being 3-point shots, and there you go. Now, against the New York Knicks, he couldn't really do that in game one. Tom Thibodeau said, F all that, boy. We don't pick and pop all of it. Roll your big stupid ass to the basket. We're going to guard us up. Now, look here. KP comes to set the screen on Tatum on the left, and look at the switch. And another thing, too, man, I know I've gotten on Cat. Got to give credit to him, especially in the Pistons series, fighting and guarding off the screens, trusting his feet to stay on the island. Now, but there were some plays yesterday, like I think it was a Jaylen Brown or Drew Holiday 3. I want to say it's Jaylen Brown 3, where your man McCobbers had to push Cat into going out and guarding the shooter. But for the most part, Cat has committed to actually stepping up on the screens, making the switches, hedging, trapping. Gotta give him credit. Again, he's not the greatest of defenders, but him trusting his feet. Just trusting his feet and then trusting defense behind him speaks volumes. Now, you see here, Tatum trying to shoot that 3 off the dribble. No bueno. Again, good defense by Cat. Nothing too crazy. And again, these guys try to set the tone early on shooting. Cat didn't back down. He's close enough. Guy picks up a dribble, guard it, see where it goes. But don't give Tatum too much space to get comfortable. Cat didn't do that. Played the shot. Worked to perfection. I'm going to get to another example. Now, here in this example, this is much more of a blatant one, right, where the Knicks truly made KP commit to the role versus the other one, Josh Hart just split back out, actually felt like kind of not collapsed, but came closer to Jason Tatum a little bit and then went right back to his man, right? It's all about, Tatum probably on that play was probably thinking, he's going to, if he keeps feeding and try to double to me, I'm going to kick it out to KP. But Josh Hart just peeked up a little bit, hedged a little bit, went right back to his guy, and Cat was able to guard it. Now, in this one, it's a more blatant. And now you're seeing Jason Tatum make the pass. Now here, let me go back a little bit. You see your man, Miles Brittlestein's guarding Tatum. KP sent that bum-ass screen. No, he just wants to pop, but it's like, that pick and pop didn't work last time. Now let me try to roll to the basket. And again, the Knicks are not biting and trying to double Tatum per se, and it seems as if this play was all set up for KP to roll to the basket. Again, not much success on this one. Oddly enough, because KP can still finish in the paint, but even going back to the Mavericks days, KP was not like they would complain about a so-called post-up play because it wasn't a traditional post-up. It was kind of like this, just him rolling to the basket and getting to a quick post and putting up. But KP, look, man, he tried to use his size to kind of dominate the paint. Make say, try your best. And that's why Oli asked about the Knicks. Rotate, help and rotate. We play that type of defense, bro. Yeah, guys can get their shots up, but we're going to make everybody work for every shot they take. That's the name of the game. Don't give them no easy-ass baskets. FKP, he's soft. He should be tired now. Ain't it the end of the season? Did you talk about his anemia making him sick? 7'3", big-ass, tall, doofy-ass for nothing. Again, good defense by OG to step up. KP's not going to try to even... He tried to dunk. That's the Andre Bogdani over there. But, again, he has your man... Jaylen Brown wide open, doesn't even look to pass it. KP don't like that contact. He don't like that adversity going up. So OG provides a great buffer, a great help in the middle. Goes straight up. KP misses it, puts it right back because he's trash. He can't get the putback to go. Knicks come out on top, pause, as Mikal Bridges helps deflect that ball, and it's Knicks ball. So you see an example where Cat tried to play, Jason Tatum and KP try to play the pick and pop. Knicks are like, nah. They try to play the pick and roll, forcing Tatum to kind of make that pass. Tatum's like, all right, the pick and pop didn't work. Let me try to see if I can get him on a roll. Knicks, again, not biting, so they force him. The Knicks not biting in terms of doubling Tatum, so KP could even split out even if he wanted to, and forcing KP to go straight up, which is, again, your man Terry coughs off, like Cameron said. So good defense, good adjustment on Tom Thibodeau to neutralize the KP pick and pop. KP wasn't in the second half of the game, so it's Really hard to say how things would have materialized in the second half, but at least early on, Tom Thibodeau and the Knicks really made KP a non-factor on the pick and pop, pick and roll, picking anything. Suit to Tom Thibodeau. Every play that Jason Tatum had off the screens, and again, he's one of the, he's probably one of the more, at least against the Knicks, one of the more prolific shooters against the Knicks, off the dribble against the Knicks. He's a lot stronger versus us than he is against the rest of the league. And as we've seen off of screens, man, the drop back by the Knicks in the regular season absolutely killed us. I've been crying for the Knicks to stop playing drop against Tatum, and finally my praise were answered. So I made a little compilation and well enough for the Knicks. Jason Tatum shot in game one, shot 4 for 11 off of screens, off all screens. Now I counted the type of screens or the type of action the Knicks, played off of those screens in terms of defense. I counted 3 types. You had JB hedge, you had a full switch, and then you had on hold and recovery, right? Essentially, guy kind of hedging a little bit or at least holding a spot and then getting back, waiting for the initial defender to get back. On the JB hedges, Tatum was 3 for 6. On the full switches, on the JB hedges, Tatum was 3 for 6, excuse me. On the full switches, where the Knicks just fully switched, Tatum was only 1 for 4. And on the holds and recoveries, Tatum was 0 for 1. Now, I had a bunch of examples. We're just going to watch this together. Here you're seeing Jason Tatum trying to get off double screens. These are all the misses off the JB hedge, as you can see. JB hedging and Cat getting stuck. Now, the thing I had the JB hedge is that Tatum just needs a sliver of space to kill you off these hedges. So I'm not a fan of the JB hedge if the defender is not a true active defender, right? If not a guy who's going to really fight off for screens, is going to be there quick enough. Because even how the hedges work, when JB gets back, sometimes he's actually running into the guy the Knick defender that's supposed to be recovering off the screens, right? So the JB hedge, to me, again, as you can see from the stats I just pointed out, it's probably the least successful. But there were some successes. And granted, Tatum was, just off overall. You hope for that, but you don't want to hot Tatum to be shooting this shot and be making the shots on the Knicks. So here, again, you just see some of the hedges like I talked about, JB getting screening, and you see there. But look at what OG is. JB, at this point, just make the full switch. Sam Hauser, by the way, holding on. These guys just shield. Look at your man. Dear John, look at this. Ebony and Ivory ass. Bro, why are you holding on to OG refs? Look at this ref. He's blind, right? 3 blind refs. 3 stupid ass. Not seeing this freaking hole by your man OG. Luckily enough, we get away with it. Tatum misses a 3. OG gets back in time. But again, that's too much space for Jason Tatum to hit those type of shots. He's done it against the Knicks. And we get very fortunate there. And then the last hedge you see here, JB hedge. JB is hedging. Cat not getting off the screen. Another hold. Bro, what type of UFC BS is this, bro? What type of UFC BS is this where you can hold a player like that? Again, the ref. What are you guys watching? What are you guys watching that you don't see this? You too. His back is turned to. Y'all should be looking at this. If I'm Tom Thibodeau, I'm telling you, refs, y'all got to start looking at somehow some of these guys are screening. These are not screens. They're not legal screens. This is garbage. But again, Knicks got very fortunate here with Jason Tatum way too wide open. Josh Hart tries to feed him, but if Josh Hart showed his hand too early, easy just get it to Jaylen Brown here. And he can get you from the outside. Then OG would have to step up. You have Horford down here. Then Macaba have to basically protect the middle, and you have an outside shooter here too. So look, the hedges aren't my favorite thing, just because I don't think our defenders are getting off these screens quick enough, and the refs are not calling these holding screens. They're not calling these illegal screens. But the Knicks again get fortunate here. But again, 3 for 6 is not good. That's 50%. From the field. So the JB hedge is one way. Tom Thibodeau, you did it against the Pistons, trying to defend against Jason Tatum. Not my favorite form of defense against Jason Tatum. Now, here's what I like. In God we trust, all we got is us. These evil streets is rough, and all we got is us. In a road to rush to get... Suit to Onyx. Y'all know about that. Y'all too young for that. Anyway, Tatum here. Again, a full switch now. Mitchell Robinson's playing way back. Way back. So that's still a lot of space here. But you like to see the switches. You like to trust the man, the defender. Again, Jason Tatum misses one. Again, it could just be a bad game by Jason Tatum. And you could say that in other games he's going to be able to hit those shots. But again, the full switch, another full switch here. And he tried to shoot. Now, he hit a shot. He did hit a shot, one of his shots, where he just shot the shot extremely quickly off the off transition, trying to catch our guys off balance. And here's why I don't like Mitchell Robinson. He doesn't trust his feet. Mitchell Robinson doesn't trust his feet more than Cat doesn't trust his feet. Sounds crazy, right? Cat, at least on the outside, will play up a little bit closer. Mitchell Robinson plays that drop back, thinks he could block everything. Again, that's his natural talent. But against a guy like Jason Tatum, you get burned, right? And again, one of those shots was Jason Tatum making a shot against the Knicks defense when he just basically didn't even allow the screen to really set for him and just shot that shot quickly. But again, 1 for 4 off that type of switch, right? But here you see another example as this freaking goes through. Jason Tatum getting a full switch to Cat. And I'm telling you, Cat can live on an island better than Mitch on the outside. I know that sounds crazy. I like Mitch's defense way more than Cat, but Cat been trusting his feet. Gotta trust the feet. And Cat has been doing a better job. Here, OG gets screened off. Cat is like, I got him. I got you, bro. I got your back, so you best to watch your front. It be the front, the stunts. I don't know. Shoot to Jizza. I can't remember the damn words. Great song, by the way. But Cat guarding Tatum. Tatum with a little bum-ass crossover. He actually has a nice crossover. A decent crossover for, what is he, 6'9"? Again, Cat right there. Good defense by Cat. And I showed you that other play where Cat stood right there on the pick and pop attempt. And you seen your man Cat playing up on Tatum, not letting him breathe. Good on freaking Carl Anthony Towns. I'm proud of this. Look at him. Trusting his feet. Y'all gotta get some training. Somebody to teach you how to bend your hips a little bit, bend your legs a little bit, get better, improve your center of gravity. But Jason Tatum trying to catch Cat off the full switch. And he misses. Then my last example here with just the hold and recover, waiting for the initial point of attack defender to get over the screen. As you can see here, Cat, again, they're trying to catch Cat out. Cat doing a decent job, seeing Josh Hart being able to recover off that weak-ass Luke Cornett screen. Luke Cornett rolling to the basket, Cat playing drop, or sagging back or getting back on Luke Cornett. And golly, son, pray for Josh Hart's ankles, bro. Golly, son, yo. Give me your tired, your poor. Oh, my gosh. Had your man on skates like Streets of Rage 2, bro. Golly, son. Your man just sexed them ankles. Sex. Time to. Oh, that's the wrong way. I was going to say flex. But anyway, I'm not singing Shabba Ranks. What's wrong with me? Anyway, Josh Hart recovering. Tatum again trying to establish that three-point shot. And it's the fourth quarter. Your man Jason Tatum did not have a good shooting game. And when you have a team that's trying to go back to the well one too many times or something has not worked, that means you've confused them. That means that you may have won the war. You may have won the battle. At least for that day. They don't have another adjustment to pull out. They're still dependent on Jason Tatum to get hot. Now, granted, Jason Tatum has had games 2 years ago, was it? When they played against 76ers, was it last? No, it's 2 years ago, I think. Played 76ers, your man Jason Tatum missed every shot in the first half, then went on to be like 13 for 5, something stupid in the second half. I think he had like 30, I might be wrong. He had 20-some 30 points against the 76ers. I think it was a game 6, and then he won in game 7. Right, but here again, Jason Tatum, here the hold and recover. Cat doing a good job. Got to give him credit of hold and recover. Josh fighting over the screen. So it's a Josh, by the way. Not the greatest of defenders, but your man works hard, bro. This man is the James Brown of the NBA, the hardest working man in the league, even though, well, James Brown was uber talented. Josh Hart may not be the best defender, may not be the quickest, but he's going to fight hard on every play. So just one more time, hold and recover. You got your man, Cat holding down the fort. And I like that Cat is still stepping up here, that if Josh was able to get off the screen, Cat can step up again. Cat's doing a good job of trusting his feet. Josh getting crossed over, but Tatum not being able to hit that shot. No poster for you, my guy. Straight bricks on bricks on bricks. 18.5, Mr. 18.5 over here, snowman style Tatum. But salute to Tom Thibodeau for adjusting. Again, the switches I thought was the best defensive weapon against the Boston Celtics in their three-point shooting. Again, they missed 45 threes. The Knicks took 37 threes overall. Boston Celtics missed more threes than we took. That is absurd. And I believe it's the most threes missed in a playoff game of all time. I might be wrong, but I think it is. 19 of their 20 shots in the third quarters were threes. And that's what helped get us back to the game. It was like, oh, they're going to live by this? All right, let's play some good defense. Let's drag them out a little bit. Let's get possessions. Let's win the possession. That was something very important that Tom did. Let's win the possession. Let's win the possession here on offense and here on defense. I know it sounds corny. Yeah, well, of course they did. They won the game. But how they approached the game was not just to go up there and just jack up any threes, right? It's to move the ball. Yes, we got back into the game. OG hit some big threes. You had Brunson. You had Makai also hit some big threes. Makai mostly at the end. I think he went 2 for 4 from outside, right? But it's more so about moving the ball around, making the Celtics move, making the Celtics work. Even when the plays, I didn't even show it, but there was a play where they ran the switch for Brunson. I believe he missed the shot, though. But they forced Horford to come out. And he wanted Horford to come and get the switch. And they didn't realize till late. The Celtics, that is, that Brunson was doing this. Then Drew Holiday doubled. But that's what you want to do. Force the Celtics' hands. Get them out their comfort zone. You got them in foul trouble and they're missing threes. You can't lose a game like that. I know you're down, but you cannot lose a game like that. When the Celtics are at some of their weakest, right? Foul trouble. Don't have KP, can't hit a shot from outside. Should be no way the Celtics are beating you by 20. So good on Tom Thibodeau with the adjustments. Let me know your thoughts, especially for Game 2. How do you think that Mizzou's going to adjust for Game 2? They already start seeing plays. Jaylen Brown told me, hey, we need to attack the basket more, blah, blah, blah. Now, granted, the Celtics shoot threes, right? So are the Celtics going to try to impose themselves at the rim a little bit more? I believe they shot 11 free throws. People complain, oh, they weren't getting fouls. But if you're shooting threes, where are you going to get the fouls? Fans, think. And the refs are actually calling it for the Celtics. Calling it more for the Celtics in the second half. So let's see how the Celtics come out in Game 2. I think they're going to be a lot more physical, try to impose their will. KP still, they said he was out with some type of illness he was suffering since the beginning of the season. If he comes back, they're probably going to try to feed him more in the paint. But I don't think he's this adept paint, a killer post-up player. I think it's more so of him just attacking off the pick and roll. So Knicks, again, defensive rotations, help defense have to be sharp like it was in the second half of Game 1. Has to be sharp. You want to beat the Celtics. We know what they want to do. Now it's up to these guys to execute. But guys, let me know your thoughts. Let me know your comments. Tom Thibodeau's adjustments in Game 1 versus regular season. It's your boy Gmo, lead your Knicks. I appreciate you guys. Peace through. God bless. I'll catch you guys on the next one.